The club would like to put on the record their sincere thanks for Flop? That's right, aye.
Yeah.
I'm away now, Dave. That's tickled me.
I don't know what I know about a floppy tick with you.
Oh, no.
Oh, pull yourself together, man. This isn't a jovial podcast this week.
No. 2 seconds.
Oh, dearie dear. Fucking hell.
Oh, right.
You sound like one of the blooming Rabid Tims there, aye. Flop, Clement.
And the stadium erupts in red, white and blue. You've never seen anything like it.
Let's go.
Manchester, brace yourself. Rangers are coming!
Hi everyone and welcome to the next episode of the iReady podcast. As ever, I'm your host Derek and with me was my co-host Dave. How you doing, Dave?
Oh, Derek, the woes of being a Rangers fan again with this bipolar team of ours. It's been up and down, up and down. There's been things happening constantly. It's been a constant refresh of the refresh button on X to find out that just seems to be something happening every day and I can't keep up.
No, we've got a lot to cover tonight. Sacked managers, interim managers, takeovers. We'll get into it all, hopefully in some kind of order, but it's going to be difficult. So we may as well start and go. What will we do, Dave? I don't know what we'll do anymore. We'll go onto the pitch. We'll go down the tunnel and onto the pitch.
Tunnel and onto the pitch.
So before we get into any sort of games, not long after we'd done the last pod, it was more or less confirmed that takeover talks with the group behind the San Francisco 49ers was certainly underway. Various people over the last week have came out and confirmed it. Dave King doing what he normally does and try to take credit for all and talking about trying to leave him a legacy for the club, which wrestling the company away from Mike Ashley was legacy enough. He has to go and do this as well now. So we'll see how it goes anyway. But some people did play Inspector Clouseau and piece things together, studying pictures of some of our games and finding Parag Maranth and others involved in the takeover at our European games, the Man U one especially. Now, some of the other things that kind of make sense when you look at it, the reasons for executive level staff leaving and not being replaced, probably likely due to the takeover as well. The external agency doing the review for us as well. There's links to this group. The one big one I would say, it probably wasn't overlooked, but it was kind of more dismissed as kind of pie in the sky stuff. At the AGM in December, I think it was Alistair Johnson made a comment about Rangers maybe becoming part of a sporting stable. This is exactly what it's going to be. So, I think the signs have been there for a long time. It's just taken a while for it to actually transpire that way. Not sure if it's been done officially yet, but it's been reported that the SFA wouldn't have any issue with the dual ownership thing, as they would be happy with the external investment coming in. Hearts, Hibs and Aberdeen have got similar investors as well, to a much lower level obviously, but there was no issues there with the SFA. There's no further blocks from any other governing bodies. I think the only issue could be that if Leeds and us got into the same Euro competition, now that's unlikely just now as Leeds are obviously still in the Championship. The only issue would be is if they'd done a Notts Forest, for example, and they got promoted and they went shooting right up the league. I'm not sure what would happen there. I'm sure it's happened previously. I know a lot of Italian teams have got dual ownership with English clubs and various clubs throughout Europe. So I don't know all the ins and outs. It could be a case where Parag Maranth maybe sits on the board, but he's not officially the owner because it's under the consortium. So I think there's ways around these type of things. Now, today it's been in the media that it's been agreed in principle that they're going to be taking over 51% of the club, and due diligence is now being undertaken. Some sources saying that the deal may even be completed by the end of next month. So we'll wait and see what happens there, but it's all looking positive, Dave.
It is, Derek, and I think that we as Rangers fans are just looking for stability with the running of the club and then success after that. But stability, first of all, the way I'm seeing it is that these look as if they are very competent businessmen that have done this before. They know how it all works. They'll have their own plan. And as you say, if you look closely, there's been a lot of things being put in place that we've not been able to spot at first. So, yeah, it does look positive. We just have to hope it does turn out to be how we're all hoping it's going to be. We've been through that much. It's been quite incredible, but certainly it looks positive, Derek. So I'm not going to jinx it by saying anything else.
Dave, we were talking offline there about people not fans of Rangers kind of saying, "Oh, we're 40 million in debt. There's a lot of big issues that's still to overcome." Now they're doing their due diligence. Rangers are very open with what their accounts have been because obviously they have to be. The accounts are audited every year. It's not like we've got anything like the HMRC deal hanging over us. Yes, as much as the shareholding might be fragmented, we're all pretty open with who owns what as well. The likes of financial fair play will come into it, obviously, but it's ultimately a game-changing deal. Celtic fans can try and deny it, but this investment may tip the scales. You have to remember that Celtic have had a free entry to the Champions League for a couple of seasons with no qualifiers. They failed in the last couple of times when they had to qualify. Even if both of us failed to reach the Champions League, this takeover would maybe level the playing field between us and them for the time being, if not overtake them. Now, going back into not fans of Rangers as well, that absolute balloon, Phil, 3 names, is still around. Dave, I thought he had long gone.
Incredible, yeah.
Seen some of his posts today are absolutely hilarious. You know, he still thinks that he's in the know of people. He apparently knew Mike Ashley, he knew Charles Green, he now knows these investors. It's just fucking, it's funny as fuck. That's all it is. You can't even take him seriously,
do you want to know what's even funnier, Derek, is he's still getting people, all of the half-wits, that are actually believing in paying for the drivel that he writes about us. It's pure obsession. It's comedy gold. And I think it was just a few hours before the news came out today that, according to him, that things were far from being finalised and stuff. And then the news broke that that things were moving along faster than what we thought they were going to be. So it just proves that the guy's just making stuff up. But he has got a captive audience that will believe everything he says. So he'll keep on going on with it as long as he knows that there's still people out there believing him.
Yeah, some of our fans are not believing it as well, and they think it's just a publicity stunt just to try and draw in season ticket renewals. But I think it's gone far too past the point of that as well. It's a genuine offer that's came in. So it looks as if everything bar a major disaster is all going to go through. Obviously, there are concerns. Do they have the club's interest at heart? Will the club be protected from asset stripping other than the usual player trading when they come to sell the club? Because ultimately they eventually will. Will they sell to anyone who just wants to give them money, or will they try and get somebody who have the club's best interests at heart? All legitimate questions. Rangers fans are more acutely aware of these issues more than any other fan base out there. However, there comes a time we just maybe need to take the reins off, stop worrying about every minute detail, and just be football fans again. This consortium will be coming in and they will be looking to get a return out of it. So in theory, we need to be successful for them to get a return, and they need to invest for us to be successful. So as long as everything's above board that way, which have been burnt before, I know, but I think it's got all the hallmarks of something good here. That said, this type of situation clearly shows that Club 1872, that it showed them up to be the complete farce of an organisation that they are. Their shareholding would have been diluted absolutely during the multiple share issues, but they've failed to maintain a membership to keep the money flowing in order for them to keep on buying shares. That shareholding could have been significant, and it could have meant a significant say in protecting our club from the above questions if it all went tits up. Yes, what little shareholding they've got is better than nothing, but it worries me that how that will be used if they have to use it in anger. So yeah, it's just an absolute sham of an organisation at this point, and it's such a waste because they were onto a good thing when it was Rangers first. They had to merge, egos got involved. You've seen what happened a couple of years ago when there was an EGM, when people were trying to call the governance into question. Certain people got involved and it really all went to shit, and the people who were at the helm stayed in charge. So Yeah, I'll be interested to see what their take on it is, but complete silence from them. I don't know whether they need to shut up just now because obviously of everything that's happening. I don't know.
As you say, it was a great idea. Everything in theory looked great. It's exactly what we were wanting for the club. But as you say, in fighting certain people wanting to be in charge, not getting on with everybody else, then it all merged. And ever since that, it seemed to turn to shit. So, and then it just complete silence now. I mean, that until you mentioned it there, I had completely forgotten about them. So that just shows you what's happened. So, as you say, we'll just have to wait and see what their part in this whole thing's going to play out. But interesting times.
Yep. So we'll get into the games now.
We have to?
The first game we've got to cover, Saturday the 22nd of February, a 2-0 loss at home against St Mirren in the Premiership. Now we'll get into what happened afterwards, but the game itself I'm not going to cover in a massive great detail. We lined up Butland, Tavernier, Proper, Inciala, Jefty, Raskin, Diamande, Cherny, Hadji, Igman, Dessers. On the subs bench we had Kelly, Ridvan, Lawrence, Barami, Fernandez, McCausland, Rice, Curtis and Danilo. Outfought, outmuscled, outplayed in every area. No heart, no desire, no tactics, no skill, no inventiveness. We made it easy for St Mirren. The CEO had said that results had to improve. Since then, we had our worst result in the Cup against Queen's Park at home, a lacklustre win against Hearts, which we probably could have easily lost, and now a home defeat against St Mirren. At this point, takeover or not, off the pitch issues or not, that day was an example of a sacking offence. An issue that happened on the 48th minute summed the play up. We get a throw in. We actually rushed to get the ball and we stole 5 yards. And then we waited. It really sums up the play all season. It was picked up by Neil McCann as well, which ironically enough we'll get into very shortly. Yeah. But he picked it up on Sports Scene about the fact that it was just so slow play, and then we were playing backwards passes, sideways passes. St Mirren were on us like a rash. They were pressing us very high, very quickly, and our play just played right into that. We were just giving them that opportunity to get the ball off us and play very slow and lethargic. On the 5th minute, it was a corner from Tavernier to Hadji at the edge of the box. A soft header forward by Diamande. A good header forcing the keeper to put it over the bar. Was ruled offside in any case. I don't think it was, so no corner. 8th minute, pass back to Butland. It was a poor kick out right to the St Mirren player at the edge of the box, who shoots. A big save by Butland, deflected to another St Mirren player who shoots it at Butland, and again he puts it over the bar out for the corner. Once again, Dave, and we will get into it, an unforced error from Butland.
Yeah, I know, and it's going to be a sign of things to come as we briefly cover the game on Saturday there as well.
Yep. Rest of the half really played out. We were second to every ball. Had a couple of shots that were lacklustre. They were powder puff, right at the keeper or wide. St Mirren never really done a lot either, mind you, but they were chasing every single ball and they were the better team in the half. Controversy in the 45th minute, Igman was shown a straight red card for a sliding tackle. His studs were down to the point he actually dug his studs into the ground. It was more dangerous for him. It was a single foot challenge. It was late, but not rash or dangerous. There was a VAR check. Clancy goes to the screen. He downgrades it to a yellow. It was a correct decision, but he couldn't wait to get the red card out there. But fair play for him reversing it as well, though.
Yeah. As you say, there wasn't anything malicious in that whatsoever. It was one-footed. The studs were facing down as well, so correct decision in the end.
Second half, there was no changes at all. More lacklustre play, more of the same. 51st minute, we went a goal down. It all started from a drive and run from Igman. He plays a 1-2 with Dessers. He drives it forward into the box on the right, and he has a shot blocked. Right from that play, St Mirren went right up the park. The keeper kicks a long ball up. Two of our players go for the same ball with the St Mirren player. It appears to hit off our player, goes towards goal. Inciala goes down. The St Mirren player goes 1v1 and easily slides it to the left of Butland into the net. The ref instantly ruled it out for a foul. A 3-minute VAR check. It goes to the screen and he gives the goal. Inciala ended up tripping over his own feet, so it wasn't a foul. Now, it has been said in the Sky Sports thing the day after games that how can he trip over his own feet? He tripped over his own feet, Dave. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, I know.
He's no reason for him to go down there. So that's maybe the reason why you're thinking, oh, why would he trip over his own feet? But no, it was clear. He tripped over his own feet. Another mistake from him. It was poor. How often are we going to lose this simple ball, one ball over the top of our defence? and then they pick it up so easy because our defence are nowhere.
Simple defending as well. There's no one willing to get in there first time just to get rid of the ball straight away, to be strong enough to beat the attacker or beat that pass getting played through. And as you say, it just looks so amateurish at the back, and that again was just an absolute disaster, considering that we were on the break and could have scored just seconds before that. One quick ball, we don't deal with it, and then it's a goal. It's just poor all round.
58th minute, Eggman off and Danilo on, probably because he was on a yellow card. But again, it's one of these straight like-for-like swaps. Never really done much after that, and St Mirren went 2-0 up on the 70th minute. Once again, a long ball up from their keeper to midfield, a long ball up from in the middle. Enciala lets it bounce. He lost where the ball was. It hit off his head, right into the path of the attacker, who was in the box, and shoots it past Butland. Once again, Dave, so simple.
It was, and at that stage, you're thinking for Enciala, he had a really poor game. He looked lost. He was needing someone to step in and help him out. He was needing the older head. He wasn't getting it, and that was quite shambolic. Defender again. And this is a young guy, Derek, who'd actually been playing quite well up until that game, but he was completely caught out. The physical side of the game as well, and it just fell perfectly for the St Mirren striker to score. It was just poor again, all round.
Yep. And the last note I've got here, because I gave up after this, 72nd minute, Diamandi and Hadji off, Lawrence and Barami on. Again, like for like, no inventiveness, no thought to change anything, just going through the motions at this point. And that's how the game ended up. Boos around the stadium again. My post-match was down in the dumps as usual. Nothing happened on that Saturday. Nothing happened on the Saturday anyway. However, during the presser, Clement seemed to know that was it done. He was apologetic. No excuses, which he's never done before as well. When he was asked about his future, he says it's up to the board, whereas before, when he's been asked that, he's been very bullish about it.
Yes.
So this is the thing, you can absolutely feel sorry for him on a human level. Everyone wanted it to work from him, well, apart from, and really let's not hide away from the fact that we've got some fans that wanted him to fail just to say that they could say, oh, look, we told you from early on that he was absolute shite.
I agree with you there completely, Derek. It actually annoys me that we've got fans on right from the beginning that were, oh, we told you that it shouldn't have been him. We should have got Kevin Muscat, and then they went on and on and on. You should be there to try and back the guy as much as you can and hope that he does well. But even when he did get the good results, there was still the same fans out there that were revelling in the fact that they knew that the something was going to go wrong and willing him not to do well, which I really can't get my head round at all.
No. I mean, ultimately, yes, he was dealt a shit hand from the board with all the stuff going on in the background. We probably now know that the reason why that all was happening, and whether he knew about it or the real reasons, I'm not too sure, obviously. However, that doesn't excuse his feelings on the park. The arrogance of sticking with the same style and the same system throughout it, even though it was clearly not working, his arrogant excuses in the press conference, his failure to get the players to do even the basics right was completely inexcusable. Now, into Sunday the 23rd, it was broke by the Sun initially, and it eventually got confirmed by other media and then fan media outlets. Like others, we put a pod out without any official confirmation from the club. That eventually came about 30 minutes after we had put our pod out, and it really said, Rangers Football Club can confirm it has tonight parted company with men's first team manager Philippe Clement. The club would like to put on record their sincere thanks to Philippe for his hard work and dedication during his spell in charge. A further update from the club will follow in due course. So we waited to put out the pod for that update. Now, normally with sacking statements, and we've sadly been through that many over the past few years, they would normally say X, Y, and Z is taking charge of the next fixtures. That's if someone in-house was taking it. That clearly never said that, so it wasn't going to be someone in-house. So Monday the 24th, speculation was rife who it was going to be. Gerrard was installed as the favourite by bookies, as it was really an easy one to assume given the fact he's jobless just now. Despite the way he left, that's who I kind of wanted as an interim manager, because he would get a kick out the players, he knows what it means, and he would have a point to prove, which is the more important thing there. One thing that was a stumbling block apparently, and I never knew it at the time, was tax implications would have been for him, because because he got sacked, he couldn't take a job before June. So now the Gerrard link did draw attention from our fans. A lot of them were not wanting him, which is absolutely fine. Some of them were saying that, well, he only won 1 out of 9 trophies, which is factually correct. However, for me, it's an extremely poor argument. He had 3 full seasons he was in for. He was never going to win the league in his first. The second was unlikely, but we'll never actually know because it was cut short due to COVID. And the third, he won. And in the fourth, he was ahead when he left. The Cups, absolutely, you can make an argument he should have done better in them, but he could have won 6 cups for us in 0 leagues, and he would have been deemed a failure because he wouldn't have won a league, and he wouldn't have stopped to 10 from Celtic. Yes, he's won 6 out of 9, but he would have been deemed a failure. So they can't have it both ways when they're doing that stat. The other thing that rips my knitting is that some of our fans were saying, oh, it was only a COVID league he won anyway. To which I put a tweet out saying that don't be like them, who they were handed a league on the back of COVID. It was a non-stop blocking fest with me from Celtic fans after that tweet, jumping on the back of it. The brass neck of some Celtic fans to claim that ours was a COVID title, and they can't even acknowledge the way they were handed the title on a Zoom call. Yeah. And they were actually allowed to play a cup final 6 months later with a completely different team and their opposition who were in a completely different league and had to downsize. So I'm not having it from our fans as well with that one, because it's a nonsense. Anyway, the news started to filter in that it was going to be Barry Ferguson, and that was actually confirmed later on in the day with confirmations that Alex Rae, Colin Stewart and Stefan van der Heyden had also left. Turns out that Barry Ferguson had been told to find his own team. Issam Chari, who had joined us in January, was going to be joining him, along with Neil McCann, Billy Dodds and Alan McGregor. Now, Dave, your expression to me was, it just looks like a bunch of shouty dads who've been installed.
Of course, I want them to do well and I want the team to do well, but going by that last game there, as we'll get into, it just sounded like your son's football team's coach had left. So a group of the dads said, oh, well, I got a trial for Hearts when I was a boy and I played for Rangers under 12s when I was that age and blah, blah, blah. So we'll take control of the team because we know what we're doing. It kind of had that feel to it, to be perfectly honest with you. And I know that Billy Dodds and Neil McCann had managed and were the head coach at a higher level than what Barry Ferguson was, but it just had that feel to it. But again, I want them to do well and I want the team to get a reaction. But as we'll get into in the next game, I don't know if that's going to be the case, because I don't know if the players that we've got have just completely chucked it all together and don't care anymore that it might turn out like that. I hope it doesn't, but it just had that feel for me, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, it's not who I would have put in. Barry's been out of management for a while, never really set things alike with the clubs he was at. He's never done it at this level. McCann, I can see he's got some good ideas there. He's certainly good in the analysis part of it. Dodds, I don't think he's had a good word to say about us since he left. And
Exactly.
I'm not even sure McGregor has his coaching badges as well. So, however, they are Rangers men, so absolutely they know what it's all about. And likely they've been installed by the board on this basis. One thing we've got to understand, though, is it's a lame duck board now, appointing a lame duck manager in what is now a lame duck season. It's about getting to the end of the season and getting this takeover across the line with as little fuss as we can. And what Ferguson has said in pressers and interviews so far, and I'm not going to lie, I've been very impressed with what he's said. We've been here before, though, with saying good things and doing the complete opposite. And what we'll get into in the 2 games, as Dave's alluded to there, none of what happens from now until the end of the season is on Barry Ferguson and his coaching staff. It's either going to take a long time to coach the shite out of these players, or it's just a case that you just can't teach shite players. It's one of the two at this stage. So we'll get into it. The next game, Barry Ferguson's first game in charge, Wednesday the 26th of February, a 4-2 win away against Kilmarnock in the Premiership. Dave, that doesn't tell half the story, does it?
No, it doesn't. And again, Derek, I'm not going to go too much into it, but I will cover the key points. But basically, we wanted to know what team that Barry Ferguson was going to put out after the horror show against St Mirren, and he played exactly the same 11. So I don't know if that was to give them all a second chance to say, look, go out and prove that last week, was a one-off, even although we know it wasn't. But for him, it was a one-off, give them the chance to really shine. So it was Butland, Tavernier, Proper, Inciala, Jeffrey, Diomande, Raskin, Cherny, Hadji, Igman and Dessers. On the bench, Kelly, Ridvan, Lawrence, Barami, Fernandez, McCausland, Rice, Curtis and Danilo. So in the first 25 minutes, Derek, it was utterly shambolic. Early chance for Kilmarnock, all coming about from Hadji, giving the ball away with a slack pass. Kilmarnock break. They get a shot for the edge of the box. It's saved by Butland out for a corner. Rangers actually had quite a good chance in the 4th minute, and the ball was bobbing about at the edge of the box. There was a header by Hadji. It falls in front of Igman. He shoots first time. Decent save by the Killie goalkeeper. That was it, really, because Kilmarnock took the lead on the 12th minute, and it was just a complete shambles at the back. It was a corner for Kilmarnock on the left-hand side. The player that Proper was marking, I've heard a lot of people say that he was tripped deliberately. I don't think he was. He was kind of running back blind. He tripped over one of the Kilmarnock players' trailing legs. He fell on his backside. The player he was marking was able to get complete freedom at the back post. That's where the ball went. Simple header into the back of the net. And it was 1-0 to Kilmarnock. Just really, really poor marking all round. I don't think it should have been just all on Proper, but it was his man at the end of the day. And a very easy goal, Derek, for Kilmarnock to score early on.
So easy, and we've seen it all before. Another set piece, and it's outdone us.
3 minutes later, 2-0 to Kilmarnock. Total schoolboy stuff. Inciala, he heads the ball out of the defence to Raskin, who was really close to him. Raskin takes a poor touch, tries to play it back to Inciala. It doesn't go off. It goes straight to the Kilmarnock player, the striker. He gets the edge of the box. Now, Derek, taking nothing away for the finish, it was a cracking goal. He gets it at the edge of the box and he curls it past Butland, right inside the post. There was nothing that Butland could have done. It was a great goal, but again, it came through really, really poor play. Inciala just should have tried to header that ball as far away as he could, but he didn't. He tried the wee short header in a dangerous position, and Raskin made a backside of it as well. It was just really, really poor all round, and straight away an uphill task for Barry Ferguson. And I was thinking to myself, my God, we've done nothing here. And it just looked as if Kilmarnock were going to score every time they went forward, because it was just so bad in defence, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're taking the words right out of my mouth there, because it was every time they did go forward, you were in fear. It was just so easy, cutting through us like butter.
Yep. 5 minutes later, it should have been 3-0 to Killie. They broke up. There was a low cross fizzed across the front of the face of the goal. The Killie striker fluffs his shot wide altogether. Really, really lucky for us there that it didn't go to 3-0. Rangers were second to every single ball. Killie were through again in the 23rd minute with a long ball up to their striker. He totally outmuscled Proper. I don't know what Proper was doing, but thankfully hit a lame shot past the post. So that could have easily have been 4-0 to Kilmarnock at that stage. To be fair to Barry Ferguson, he thought, we can't go on like this. We are getting beat too easily in defence. And in the 30th minute, he made the change. And it was one or the other. Could have took Proper off. He could have took Inciala off. But Inciala really did look lost at this stage. So he took Inciala off. He put Tav back into centre half, put Ridvan on at right back, and basically Rangers didn't look back from there, because, to be fair to James Tavernier, he solidified the defence. There was a glorious chance in the 33rd minute. Igman breaks into the box. He puts it on a plate for Cyril Dessers. I'm not going to give Dessers that much stick here. It was a good chance, but when I looked back, the way that it was played to him, the defender was on the line. We're still expecting him to score for there, but the defender did put a good block on the line and managed to clear it. But 34 minutes, we did pull one back. It was Cherny. It was great play. Igman is actually fouled just inside the Rangers' half. The referee thankfully allowed play to continue. Diomande with a great ball through first time. Cherny races through, cool as a cucumber, slots it underneath the goalkeeper to make it 2-1, and Rangers back in the game, and a great time to score, Derek.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just seemed to be from that substitution, it flipped everything. Yep. And we started to play well. Kilmarnock did sit off us a wee bit. They weren't going as forward, but we were great from that. And the goal, fantastic from Cherny, always pops up with something.
Yep, and we nearly equalised in the 40th minute. Cherny races through. He's got Igman, he's left. He's got Dessers to his right. He chooses Dessers. Dessers manages to get back, changes direction, hits the shot straight at the goalkeeper. Unlucky there. I think Igman was the better option. But Rangers really finished strong at that stage. 2-1 at half-time. Disastrous first 30 minutes, but as you just said there, after the substitution, we just seemed to be a completely different team. And really, from there on, it was all Rangers into the second half. 53rd minute, Hadji picks up the ball on the edge of the box. He hits a sort of cross shot, just deflected away from Cyril Dessers, out for the corner. And from that corner, Rangers get the equaliser, and it was that man, Cyril Dessers, with one of the easiest goals I think he's ever going to score, because the ball was plumped right into the middle, right into the 6-yard box. Dessers, nobody on him, didn't have to jump, just stood and directed his header down through the goalkeeper's legs to make it 2-2. And it was definitely game on through there.
Through the keeper's legs and off his arse into the back of the net.
We'll take it any way it comes.
Yes, but, you know, you've got to give him credit for that, because it was actually a good goal. And, you know, it was a great delivery as well, right to him, didn't have to move.
Yep. And then Rangers completely in the ascendancy now. We needed the third goal, and on the 63rd minute, we take the lead. And it's Ridvan playing it right back. He looks up, sees Dessers making a run. He's just behind the defender. He plays a fantastic chip ball through Cyril Dessers on the run. It takes a bounce just in front of him, and to be fair to the big man, hits a fantastic strike past the goalkeeper into the back of the net to make it 3-2 to Rangers and finally taking the lead. Great goal.
It was a stunning goal. Just the way he let it bounce and come over him. Brilliant goal.
77th minute, Igman picks up the ball, runs to the edge of the box. He shoots, great save by the goalkeeper. And then in the 85th minute, Rangers won the game. They scored the fourth goal. It was Ridvan to Dessers on just inside, almost at the halfway line, and an incredible touch by Dessers. You've got to say, he lays the ball off to Diomande, who was running past him. The defender doesn't know where it is. Diomande, he races. There's 3-on-1. He goes to the right to Barami, who had basically just came on a few minutes before on the right-hand side. He hits it low, hits off the goalkeeper, ends up fizzing into the top corner to make it 4-2 to Rangers. Great build-up play, Derek. Absolutely brilliant, and a good goal as well.
Yeah, superb fight back from the team, and it just shows you they have got something in them when they wanted to.
Definitely. So, you know, that's basically the game started to fizz out. We had a great chance again just after the 90 minutes. Jeffy down the left wing into Barami. He hits a half volley, which is charged down. He gets the second blow at it, hits it again, really unlucky, inches over the bar, and that is how the game finished, Derek. So we were all delighted. We were like, this is what we're looking. Coming back from being 2-0 down away at Kilmarnock, where it's always been difficult for us. Kilmarnock have been a nightmare for us this season, so we were delighted, and we were all saying it. Maybe Barry is going to get the best out of these players, because the fight back ever since the 30th minute was fantastic to see.
I mean, you can't argue with that, and it was all about making that change initially. As soon as that change happened, there was a different attitude in the team. They came out all guns blazing in the second half as well and never gave Kilmarnock a sniff. So that's the type of play we want to see. We don't want to see them getting 2-0 down in the first place, but we want to see that type of reaction, though, if something doesn't go amiss, and they should be playing like that from minute one. However, that semi-feel-good factor was completely destroyed, because on Saturday, the 1st of March, we lost 2-1 at home against Motherwell in the Premiership, and that's 3 games at Ibrox in a row we've lost. That's ridiculous now.
It is, and the stats will show, Derek, that is the first time since 1994 that we have been beaten in 3 successive games at Ibrox. Now, I've not had it confirmed. I'm only going by memory. I think it was getting beat in Europe, getting beat by Celtic, and then getting beat in the Cup by someone at that stage, because I seem to remember being at all 3 games at Ibrox when it happened in 1994. The difference back then, though, Derek, was, I think we were top of the league. We still had Walter Smith as our manager, and we still had all our top players. So it was a complete, 3 sort of freak results that happened to us at that stage, which is a complete different scenario to what we're in at the moment, the state the club's in, no having a manager and stuff like that. So back then it was a total shock, but this time it's not really a shock, is it, considering how bad we're playing?
So it was Armed Forces Day, so spirits should have been high. Troops were in attendance. A piper down the marble staircase as well. The troops abseil from the roof. Absolutely fantastic to see. As ever, some fans will mock it, but those fans are the ones that support terrorists as well, so their opinion means absolutely nothing. Tavernier also with his 500th game, and as I said in the post-match there, it doesn't matter what you think of him. That's some achievement, and only a handful of players can boast that for any club, never mind playing for Rangers. So a fantastic achievement, that one there. Yes, I know he's only won a few cups in that time and a few trophies, but much like the Gerrard thing where he always only won 1 in 9 or whatever it was, you've got to remember Tavernier is the captain. Yes, he's got his faults. We've been his biggest critics as well, but he's only one player in that team. He's not the only one that's been at fault to lose us these leagues and these trophies. So it's, again, a poor argument to use against them for that one there.
Incredible achievement, exactly like what you said, Derek. We can't take anything away, considering what the club has been through since he signed for us as well. So something that none of the fans will forget either.
No. But the team, it was Butland, Ridvan, Tavernier, Proper, Jeffrey, Raskin, Diamande, Cherney, Hadji, Igman and Dessers. On the subs bench we had Kelly, Barron, Lawrence, Barami, Sterling, Balogun, Rice, Curtis and Danilo. So good to see a couple of players coming back there. Of note, Fernandes, nowhere to be seen. So I think it's very clear that he's not going to be part of a long-term future
Bizarre.
at Ibrox. Yeah.
Very bizarre. The whole signing of him on loan has been a very, very bizarre one. I don't know what's happened there.
So the game itself, again, I'm not going to cover in great depth because it was just atrocious. From minute one, we didn't really look as if we were up for it. Motherwell were by far the better team, and on the 9th minute they went 1-0 up. Butland rolls the ball out at the edge of his box to Dessers, who takes a heavy touch. Motherwell player plays it quickly forward with one touch, goes to their attacker, who takes a touch, hits a shot right at Butland, who saves it, but he spills it right into the path of another attacker who puts it into the net. It was initially ruled for offside, however the VAR check confirms it was no offside. Butland is an absolute clown. Dessers, yes, has to take blame for the heavy touch, but it was again this dilly-dallying from Butland, and then when he gets the shot, it was a bread and butter shot. It wasn't a hard shot at all. Was there some spin? Obviously there was, but he made it 10 times worse by spilling it right into the path of the player. Dave, as I said online, every single game he's either costing us a goal or nearly costing us a goal. This isn't good enough for a keeper of Glasgow Rangers.
I want to know what's happened to him, Derek, considering how fantastic he was for us last season. And he was absolutely fantastic. That goal is down to him and him only. I'm not going to have game for Dessers, because Dessers was almost on the halfway line. That touch that he took the ball, it was almost on the break. So there was a lot that happened after that. The defence, for one, for the player to manage to get in and get the shot off, absolutely diabolical. And then Butland, I don't know what that was. That was about as easy a save as any goalkeeper would have to make. There wasn't any spin on it. There wasn't any power in the shot either. That was an easy ball for him to take, and I don't know what he was thinking. Really, really poor goalkeeping, and made it easy, because he didn't just sort of parry it away. He spilled it right in front of the Motherwell player, who just slid in and poked it past him. So when the linesman flagged for offside, I thought Butland has really got away with one here, because that was shocking. But as you say, it wasn't offside. VAR intervened, and it was 1-0 to Motherwell. Just absolutely diabolical.
It never taken that long to get 2-0 up, because in the 30th minute, that's what Motherwell just done. On the left side, near the halfway line, we give the ball, I think it was Tavernier, gives the ball away cheaply. Motherwell break quick. We have plenty of opportunity to regain and clear. The ball was played into the middle, then to the right side. Jeffrey not tracking his man again, who was behind him. Their player receives the ball and shoots it past Butland's right side. Again, giving the ball away cheaply in midfield, and Jeffrey just not being able to track a man again. Same goals we lose every single time, Dave.
It was dire. It was, again, starting for Tav on the right-hand side, but the ball that got played in, we seem to have loads of bodies back there, but they just weren't able to put the foot in, or they were hesitating, waiting for someone else. And as you say, it was left to Jeffy, who had an absolute abysmal game as well. And I know a guy who really needs to spend some time on the sidelines, because, like Nsiala, his confidence is dropping, and it was just absolutely dreadful all round again, and far too easy for Motherwell. It really was at that stage.
And about the only thing we done in the half was in the 45th minute, Diomande with a great shot from 20 yards on the left side, was rising into the net, but the keeper pulled out a great save and put it over the bar and out for a corner. And that's how the first half ended out. Second half, we made a triple substitution at half-time. Hadji proper, Eggman off, Barami, Balogun and Lawrence on. You would have never seen Clement do that. It could have been all 11 players, to be honest, Dave, because not one of them deserved to come out for the second half. 53rd minute was a break by Motherwell, slid to the ball to the left. The shoots and a save by Butland. It was flagged for offside in any case. 54th minute, a poor cross from the left side, actually deflected off the defender and across the face of goal, but no takers. And we did pull a goal back with Dessers on the 54th minute. It was patient play with Tavernier playing it to the right side to Ridvan, who plays a first-time ball. It was bouncing and goes through the defence, who actually blundered this one, right to Dessers, who shoots it first time into the net. A good goal, wee bit of fortune, but again, given the fact that we're giving away so easy goals, I'll take that every day.
Be fair to him, he anticipated it really well. He stuck with it. He waited for the mistake. He obviously sniffed it out. It was a great finish by him again. And something like that, Derek, with so long left, you would expect a reaction for the team, knowing that they've got a goal out and nothing, to say, right, we're only 1-0 down here, let's go for it. But we didn't see it, did we?
No, definitely not. 59th minute, Barami with a shot from 20 yards on the left, bounced right in front of the keeper and a good saving out for the corner. Diomande came off in the 74th minute, Danilo came on, and on the 77th minute, this again sums up our play. From 6 yards from goal, Danilo has clear sight, he has time, and instead of shooting, he actually squares it, trying to find his own man, but he actually passes to the defender. If there's one thing that sums up the play of the season, that's it right there. Easiest chance to shoot, he decides to try and pass it and lose possession. Diabolical.
Glorious opportunity for him. He even had the whole of the goalkeeper's right-hand side to aim for, which was basically, if he'd have just hit it straight because he was at an angle, it would have probably have went in the net, or it would have had to have made the goalkeeper force a fantastic save. He's seen Dessers to his left. He had two men on him, so it was actually easier for him to have a shot at goal than it was to try and find Dessers, who'd ran into the 6-yard box. I don't know what he was thinking, but as you say, it summed us up completely. It was a glorious chance and fluffed it.
79th minute, Dessers had the ball in the back of the net, but it was flagged for offside. It was a long ball played up from the right side by Ridvan to Danilo. It looks as if it bounced right through, comes to Dessers, who shoots it into the net, and it was instantly flagged for offside. It went to VAR, and I'm guessing they decided that Danilo did actually get a touch. Didn't look like that to me on replay. A few minutes later, we were shown an offside for Dessers where the lines were drawn. Now, again, he would have been only offside if Danilo had touched it, which I still don't think he done. To me, they've clearly never done their job properly, VAR there. A few people have said, yeah, it touched his knee. But again, Dave, I've seen it back several times. I still don't see it.
Again, we've seen it time and time again. The ball doesn't change direction for me, Derek. It actually looks as if Danilo goes for it, but then at the last second pulls away from it. So again, it doesn't look to me as if it's touched him whatsoever. And if that's the case, it should have stood. And it was a great finish by Dessers as well. So I feel for him that he's not getting that goal. But I don't know what they were doing. The VAR check was over quite quickly as well for me. I didn't think it went on long at all. So I'm quite baffled at that one.
83rd minute, Ridvan off Sterling on. 85th minute, Cherney with a through ball to Danilo on the right side. Has a shot deflected out for the corner. The 86th minute to round out the game. Corner in to the front post. Knocked one by the head of our player. Cleared off the line by the defender. Out to Tavernier, who blasts it over the bar. So, boos round the stadium as you would expect. Again, You can't really blame Barry Ferguson for this. He done what he can. These players are just a shower of shite now. They really are. If they can't get up for any game, then what's the point? It's going to be a long end to the season, I think, because if they're just going to come away with results and performances like that, despite everything that's happened, then maybe it wasn't just, and I think we all knew this, it wasn't just all in Clement. I think the players had to take a big share of the blame as well. But they should know by now, fans remember this, and it's not going to go down well when they're on the park if they're going to put in performances like that. It's just a basic level of being able to chase a ball, being able to listen to instructions. They don't seem to be able to do that, Dave.
I think even, Derek, if the defence was sorted out, if we looked solid in defence and teams were struggling to score against us, then that would lift the team as well. Something, again, and again, it's all hindsight, I know, but we were talking about Barry Ferguson coming in, bringing in McCann, bringing in Dodds, bringing in Alan McGregor. Apart from McGregor, who's a goalkeeper, they're all attacking players. I don't know if Billy maybe should have spoke to one of his ex-colleagues that was a centre-half and brought them in just to see if we could do something defensive-wise, because it's the defence for me that's letting us down. We're far too powder puff. We're giving them chances galore. And again, it was just exactly that is what happened to. We're getting out-muscled on everything. The young boy, Lennon Miller, in midfield for Motherwell, he'll not have an easier game. They were just giving him the ball. He wasn't getting harried. He wasn't getting harassed. And he was having all the time of the day to spray that ball from side to side on the park. He's a fantastic player, but we made him look absolutely world-class in that game. He had the easiest game going, and that's just unforgivable at Ibrox. It really is.
So the games to come, we were actually drawn against Turkish side Fenerbahce in the last 16 of the Europa League. So the next game is Thursday the 6th of March away against Fenerbahce. That's in the first leg of the last 16, 17:45 kickoff. We'll get into more about that in the news section. Then, because Rangers decided to get put out the cup, we've got a weekend off. So the game after that will be the home leg against Fenerbahce. That's Thursday, the 13th of March. That's in the second leg. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff. Then it's Sunday, the 16th of March, away against Celtic in the Premiership. That's a 12:30 kickoff. It has been confirmed that each club will be getting a 4% allocation for the remaining Old Firm games. So that's us about 2,500, I think. Celtic will get about 2,000 in Ibrox. Then it's to round out March, Saturday the 29th of March, away against Dundee in the Premiership. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff. So, Dave, I don't hold out much hope for any of the games, to be honest.
It's going to be incredibly difficult because Fenerbahce are a top team. You look at some of the players that they've got playing for them and the manager, Jose Mourinho. So Barry Ferguson is going to be getting his wits up against Jose Mourinho in that game. It's going to be very difficult, Derek. That was the one team at this stage that I didn't want to draw out of the three possible teams that we could have got. So we just have to hope that it manages to get a rise out of the players and we go back to being Europa League Rangers on a Thursday night when we play them. But as you say, I'm not holding out much hope that we're going to get anything from it, and I really, really hope I'm wrong, because that's all we've got to play for now this season. So we'll have to wait and see.
So we'll go into the news. So only a couple of bits and pieces to cover this time, just for a wee bit of balance, because we like to be fair on this podcast. The KMI panel met and decided that the VAR made a mistake in the Hearts game when they should have gave Hearts a penalty after Enciala pushed the Hearts player in the box, an incident to which we went right up the park and scored from as well. So maybe got away with one there. I entirely disagree on that, though. The Hearts player looked at Enciala and stopped dead in his tracks. So I'm not sure where Enciala could have went there. I don't agree with when defenders do it, when they get away with it, when they're shielding the ball. So attackers shouldn't get away with it either there. So we maybe were fortunate there, but I think we would have been harshly treated if we got a penalty against us there.
Yeah.
I was talking about the Turkey game. Travel to Turkey. Everybody who's travelling will probably know about this already, but It's a night. It sounds like a nightmare trip, to be honest. Ramadan is going to be observed there, so it adds another layer of complexities for our travelling support. However, further to that, the security measures are a bit of a joke. Rangers fans are going to be forced to pay £20 for an organised bus. They're being told not to use public transport to get to the game. The travel will take up to an hour depending on traffic. There are no toilets on the bus either. That would be me absolutely fucked then if I ever was on that bus. There's no drinking or eating on the bus either. There's going to be 3 security checks when you get to the stadium. There's going to be a holdback of up to 2 hours after the game. You've all got to exit through a single exit point, which is a security issue in itself. There's restrictions on the certain items that you're allowed to bring into the stadium, like battery packs, coins and vapes. The stadium facilities are apparently basic, including limited toilet facilities, which for 2025 is inexcusable. You can pay for food using cash or card, but no coins will be issued in change. And if there is change to be given and it's not in a note form, then the difference will be just donated to charity instead. And I'm sure I heard Heart and Hand say that if you need to take any medication with you, you need to bring a medical certificate to say the reasons why you're taking it and what it's for. Look, Ramadan and restrictions around the country, what they do, and the local customs are not ideal. But you're visiting another country, their laws and their customs, you have to observe that. But the security measures are complete overkill. And once again, it leads to UEFA allowing police of other countries to treat fans like criminals first, to the point of it actually being inhumane with holdbacks and no toilet facilities or limited toilet facilities as well. It leads to the question that if the security measures have to be put in place for a genuine reasons, then the games shouldn't be played in these type of countries then. If people's lives could be in danger if the security measures are not there. I know in Britain we think we're hard done by and treated harshly by police over here, but I think we've got a hell of a lot easier compared to other countries.
That sounds like absolute hell, Derek. It sounds like hell. Going by, and I know that we laughed about, no toilet facilities on the bus and things like that. Just even starting at something small like that is horrific. But, the whole thing, having to wait 2 hours after, going through one gate and everything, that sounds absolutely hellish. As you say, the police will take absolutely no prisoners over there, so everybody will have to be on their best behaviour. And as you say, when it comes to the alcohol and stuff like that, it looks as if there's going to be zero tolerance on anything. So any fan that travels over there, please be careful. Please remember everything that's going on. I think it's going to be a hellish trip. And at the end of the day, I hope the team make it worth their while for going, because it sounds absolutely horrendous. Everything that you've just listed there.
Yep. So Dave will now try and bring some joy into the pod with Festival Corner. This one sounds as if it's written directly for you, Dave.
For me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Nothing says welcome to your 50s like a crippling hangover after a paltry amount of booze, whilst doubled up in the shower, simultaneously squirting semi-liquids from both ends, then using your foot to encourage it down the drain. Full stop.
I really hope that's not how it's going to be, Derek. I've only got a couple of weeks left. I really hope it's not going to be like that.
My husband has begun to use utterly awful dirty talk during sex, and it's a complete turn-off. Dries me right up. Guys, do not use phrases like, my balls yearn to gift you with seed.
Who would even imagine thinking that up anyway? Come on. Oh, dear.
My wife's very attractive friend messaged me to come over and help with some DIY while my wife was away, and obviously in secret. Genuinely thought this was an affair, so I took Viagra before I went. Absolutely wasn't, and spent 4 hours building IKEA cabinets with an erection.
Oh, dearie dear.
I heard a tip to not wipe one's arse after a dump. The action of walking naturally fashions any remaining rectal fudge into a nice bullet shape for the next round. It worked brilliantly for several days, until the day when it didn't. I think I will need to leave my job.
That sounds like one of your ex-colleagues. Oh, my God.
There's a mum at my kid's school who's a gossip and works in Sainsbury's. When I knew she was working, I went in to buy extra large condoms and made sure I go via her till and look embarrassed. Now I get smiles and grins from all the mums at school. Shame I'm hung like a cold gerbil.
Oh, good one.
And I wonder if this is the same guy from last week to round this one up. Decided to start tracking frequency of shags with my wife. Built a spreadsheet and have been adding features to it such as location, time of day and a checklist of activities. I'm now more excited about updating the spreadsheet than having sex.
That has got to be the same guy. Got to be the spreadsheet king.
That also sounds like that same ex-work colleague as well. He had a thing about spreadsheets.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. I think that is him now, actually. I definitely do.
So on that note, we will end the podcast.
Oh, dear.
So, Dave, a lot to go on. I know we've kind of covered it very briefly, all of it, but it's just been a tiresome week. And you just think there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel sometimes, and they just go out their way to try and piss us off, don't they?
I know it now comes down. I don't envy Barry Ferguson at all, Derek. After seeing how the team looked in that last game, he's now got to try and do something to motivate them. I think a lot of them know that they're not going to be there next season, so he's got a hard job in his hand. And let's be honest, these next two games are massive, big occasions. I can only hope that the game on Thursday, it does enough to at least bring it back to Ibrox and we have a fighting chance of going through. That's all we can hope for that one, but it's going to be tough, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely. So we'll see what happens. Dave or I will be back with a post-match after that game. All that's left to say is thanks for listening and goodbye.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
And the stadium erupts in red, white and blue. You've never seen anything